we're on. So if you all just mute yourselves, please, my dears, and then we'll start the warm up, and I'll run through exactly what we're going to do. It's going to be a full body session. So we're going to run through the first segment of it is going to be some of the knees over toes stuff, which I know a lot of you have been doing, but I thought it would be a good opportunity now that it's sort of silent to run through some of the whys and how you do them and some of the basics that you've probably seen people in the gym doing. So we will get to that. It'll just be a walkthrough, just sort of follow along, and I'll give you progressions and regressions. All the bits of equipment you might need would be ideally a chair or a stick of some kind, something to brace yourself with or to hold your balance. And if you've got a table or ledge to do some rows for the bodyweight stuff, that's right, Adam. Yeah, chair's good. All right, so we'll get to that when we get to that. So we'll do the warm up first. So I'm on Isaac's laptop, so I'm just making sure that I've got it set up the right distance. Okay, so just come into a deep squat. Up on your arches, so you're really digging your toes into the floor. We're gonna prop one elbow into one knee, and then just work on extending behind us. So you drive your elbow into your knee, try and look behind. And other side. You can post on the ground if you want as well, but if you can, balance and stay doing this on your heels, that's fine. Right, then we're going to do a few pulses. So just from this deep squat, if you can hold this, you're going to come to parallel, squeeze, and back down. Up to parallel, squeeze. Up from there, squeeze. Okay. And then I'm going to come into this like lunging position. Post. The opposite hand to the foot you have out in front. Reach up nice and high. So you're really trying to open your shoulders up. And then you're going to drive your elbow between your foot and your hand if you can. Don't worry if you got your hand all the way. We'll do 3 on each side. And swap. So really opening up. Just notice which side's tighter. This side for me is a lot better. All right, then we're going to do basically come into this sort of top of a split squat position. You're going to try and drive your knee forward as far as you can. Basically, you want to feel a stretch in your back hip flexor. This is a position we're going to try and get comfortable with a bit later on. So come down to here. You can drop your knee for now if you want. Just focus on feeling that stretch. So then you're just going to bob forward gently. All right, and then you're going to come to the extended position, straighten this front leg, and then lean over that leg. So you should feel a stretch in your hamstring now. So from that same position, just tweaking your body in the hamstring stretch. And again, we'll just do oscillatory movements. So just gently bowing down like that. You'll feel as your chest comes down, that's when it starts to pull on that hamstring. All right, and then swap. So just gently walking forward. And straighten. And bowing over your leg. A bit of balance involved. So you'll notice your feet doing all sorts of little micro movements. All right. Just do some hip circles now. So like 5 nice, slow, large orbits. Clockwise and anti-clockwise. All right. And then just some kicks. So it's legs straight forward, 5 forward, 5 out to the side, like so. Obviously, it helps if you've got something to brace yourself against. And 5 behind. to concentrate to upwards balance here. So let's do single Jefferson curl. So you can start standing like that. Tuck your chin, bow your head, and start uncurling your spine. So you're trying to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Come down to this one position. Just link arms if you want to just have a little bit of a sway. Just straighten one leg at a time. Again, stretch the hamstrings a bit more. All right, and then squeeze glutes and curl back up. Slow to a full standing position, extend. All right, and we're just going to do a little bit of hopping. So just let your shoulders loosen off. So this is, again, working on like tendon strength. So this elastic sort of motion here, it's not really muscle that's doing the work, it's your tendons. So that's what pretty much the focus of the first section of this plan today is going to be on. So nice and elastic, just rebounding. Kind of like skipping with like the coordination of a skipping rope. A little bit easier. All right, last little bit, we'll just shake the shoulders off. So do 10 forward rotations, 10 back. Oh, someone's dog barking. I think it's you, D. I'll mute you. Oh, I can't.
Yeah, let me.
All right, and then hands out at 90 degrees, and just basically get some rotations going. Get a bit of twist in the trunk. Like so, and then we're going to go same sort of thing, but you're just going to bend over the waist, hinging, practice that hinge. Arms out straight like that, and basically these twists. So twisting down and up. All right. So we're going to start the workout now, but it's kind of, you'll see it kind of flows from less intense stuff into a bit more intense stuff. But word of warning, you probably will feel burns in little muscles that you've not used much of. I certainly have. So first one, it's going to be, we're going to do 100 reps total of three different exercises. One of them repeats. So first one is going to be tibialis raises. So what you can do is come against a wall. So I'll do it this way just to show you, you guys can see. So the further out from the wall you are, the harder this is going to be. So the goal is essentially to bring your feet up, your toes up, as close towards your shins as you can. So you're just basically rocking on your heels, coming up like that. You're going to try and get 25 reps. Rest as you need. Stand. This works that front of the muscle, the front of your shin basically. So your tibialis anterior muscle. It's responsible for a lot of change in direction, deceleration. So although it's fairly small, it does have a huge athletic role. And obviously, when we talk about balance, we're always saying, you know, you want to train your quads and your hamstrings equally, biceps and triceps, you know, it's different sides of a joint. So it kind of makes sense in retrospect to train the front of your shin, just like you train the back. So we're going to do 25 of those. Then we're going to move on to 25 arm raises. So there's different types of these. What we'll do for this version is basically, again, leaning against the wall. You're going to keep the legs somewhat straight and just come up like that. Again, the further out you are, the harder it'll be. The more of a stretch you'll get. So really focus on driving the heels down and then pull onto your tiptoes as high as you can. Squeeze your calves. You're going to get 25 reps of this as well. That's 6. So the goal is sort of like building strength from the ground up, obviously using all these little small muscles around the ankle joint beginning. And then we'll start to get more involved with the split squats and squats, and obviously they scale, so you can start weighting these eventually. But for a lot of people, and most of the trainers included, just the bodyweight versions for now are ample. You can get quite a bit of a burn. I'm on rep 20 and I can feel my glutes, I can feel my calves. That's 1, 25. All right. So then tibialis, calves. We're going to go back to tibs now. So number 25. So I'm going from this angle, just back against the wall. It's a bit more comfortable for me on there. So squeeze. Remember, the further out you are, the harder it is. And you'll notice your range starts to deplete pretty quickly. I'm finding it a lot harder to try and bring my toes all the way up to my shins. Oh, it's burning. All right, a bit of a shake off. And then we're going to do another set of calf raises, but a little bit different this time. So this is going to be KOT, or knees over your toes calf raises. So again, use a wall, use something to offload some of your weight on. The goal here is, as the name implies, bring your knees over your toes. Now you see a lot of people, as they fatigue, start to straighten the legs out. That's fine, just be mindful of it. You want to try and keep your knees over your toes as much as you can, and keep this. Best way to think about it would be to sort of keep this angle between your calf and your hamstring somewhat the same. So you're really just focusing up on driving, using your calves. Push your heels down to the ground, get that stretch. Obviously, you can progress to do these on one leg as well. So, and let me know when you see me again if I'm cheating as well. I don't think I am, but I might do. 25. All right. So we're going to do, so that's basically all below your knee done. You might be a little sore from that if you've not done that type of stuff before. It hit me pretty hard the next day, but we've not done quite as many reps as normal as you would do in your program, so hopefully you'll be all right. What we're going to do next now is move on to basically above the knee. So we're going to do knees over toes squats. So goal with these, this is where you'll need a chair. Basically, even if you've got something to put under your heels, so if you've got some like a yoga block or something like that, that's good. Obviously we have the slant boards in the gym, but if not, just use your chair for bracing. The goal is to be basically put your knees over your toes and you'll feel your the heels obviously come off the ground. You want to dig in and focus on bringing those knees to the floor. Don't go through any pain whatsoever though. So if you're feeling a lot of pain in your knees, just go down like yay far. That's fine. So if you're only able to do those, just do like 20 of those. What I'm going to say is do 10 quality reps. We're going to repeat this 3 times. So you're just going to go as deep as you can. Use that for bracing. But remember, no pain. If you feel any pain or discomfort in your joints, just use less range. Even if you're feeling too much pain to do that sort of motion, what you'll do is just regress these to normal squats. So we're going to sort of treat this like a normal strength session that you'd do when you come into the gym. It's not going to be like in a circuit fashion. So we'll just have like 90 seconds break between exercises. So just sort of loosen your feet off, give them a shake, just try and recover. We're going to repeat that exact same thing twice more. And then we're going to do the same thing for split squat. So treat this sort of section as a bit of a practice, a bit of an introduction to this type of training. What we'll do later in the week is we'll do like a lower body and an upper body. So we'll do a designated sort of higher intensity day for each of those. But this is just a bit of an introduction, a bit of a full body session, just with some different techniques you've probably not used before. So another 40 seconds or so. Go from this side. All right, another 10. Like I said, if you're just getting this far, just be honest with yourself and just do 20. If you're only getting down that far, but you can get that far without pain, just do a little bit of extra work. If you're getting sort of like halfway down, I'd say just do 10. All right, so. Six. So again, they don't need to look that far. They don't need to go down that deep. Obviously, I had a bit of practice with them, so I can get low. But if you're only going that far, that's fine. You're just getting your body used to that unusual sort of motion. Like it's been very common, strangely, for PTs to basically dissuade people from going knees over toes. Lots of physios have said it. I think it came initially from some studies saying that there was more shearing forces on the knees when they go over the toes. But if you look at any sort of squat, to get any sort of acceptable depth, it has to happen. If you're going to go up some stairs, your knees are going to be over your toes. And obviously, if you're involved in any sort of sporting activity, if you blow your knee out or cause some major injury, it's not going to be doing a perfect lunge on the field. It's going to be some sort of weird dynamic thing where your knee's not going where it traditionally goes in strength training. So the idea is you're starting to bulletproof yourself and let Catherine in. Build up that tolerance in your connective tissues. All right, so we've got one more set. Catherine, just give it. Yeah. One more. Good. Just your calendar. Yeah. Just having a look at how you're going. I see some of you moving. All right. So now what we're going to do is split squat. So what you want, if you have a bench or even your sofa, if you think about this, the higher your foot is, the front foot, the easier it will be. Let me just grab a bench demonstration. So basically, the goal is very similar to that stretch we did at the start. So this would be an ATG split squat. So you're going to come right down like that. You want as much of your quad, as much of your calf covered by your hamstring as possible. This back knee, hopefully you can see from there, is not touching the floor. This heel, the forward heel, can come off, but eventually you want to work on keeping that down and really driving forward. So you're building heaps of tendon strength, get a good stretch as well, so you're improving your strength and your mobility at the same time. So that would be a split squat. But that's going to be a bit much for a lot of people for now. So what we'll do, myself included, is we'll regress this a little bit by going a bit higher. So we'll do 10 on one side, 10 on another. We're just going to switch 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 with minimal rest. So choose your weak leg first, I would say. So for me, my right. Come into that wide stance. It's quite a wide stance. And focus on driving your knees over your toes. So you should feel that here. You should feel the gap closing. Obviously, like that, the gap's closed. But if I was to just lean forward a little bit more, then my heel come off to the extra range I'm getting. So you fully collapse in there like that. And then back. So you sort of can treat this as a bit of a loaded stretch for now. But just by making you like aware of the principles, over time it can improve that. Swap legs. So obviously, height-wise, this is probably a little too high for me, but it's probably the same height as some of your sofas at home, which I'm assuming you've all got. So all right, so there's another demo. That's 10 done for both sides for me. So I'm going to go a little bit lower. So obviously, for these benches, probably just under half the height. So minimal rest, you're going to do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Just regress to your ability. Don't worry if you can't get as deep as that. Just focus on trying to get your calf to touch the bottom of your hamstring. Even if it's just touching a little bit, just get your body used to that position. All right, so we're going to go again, next side. So that, obviously the height's a bit better for me. I can straighten this front leg out. I mean, you can straighten it out, you can squeeze. So you're activating the quad at the top. You might feel that your arches are fatiguing a little bit, the arches of your feet, because obviously you're up on the balls of your feet a lot for this. So that's normal. Just rest is required. All right. Left side. Seven. 8. 9. 10. So I'll just have a little break before my third set just to see how you guys are going. All right, looks like we're all finished. All right, so third set, then we're finished with legs. Then we're going to move on to a bit of just volume heavy upper body. It's going to be very basic, but done and dusted in 10 minutes. So get a little bit of a reprieve from your legs in just a minute. But before, we've got one final set. So 10 on each leg once again. Right done. My feet are pretty sore by now, so I'm guessing yours are the same. Give a shake off. All right, let's get it done. The last leg. And obviously, you get heaps of balance while you do this as well. Seven, 8, 9, 10. Play. All right, finish with legs for today. Once you've done that, so get a quick drink. We're going to move on to a very, very basic but effective upper body routine for 10 minutes. So I'll give you some options for formats of how to approach this. So the goal is super simple. It's going to be horizontal pushing, horizontal pulling. So think bench press, push-ups, that plane of motion, rows, bent over rows, cable row. What we're going to do is push-up variation and a row variation. So you'll need a chair or a ledge, table, something like that. If you don't have anything, what I would say instead is just to do like these Superman sort of lat pull down simulation. So you can lay flat on your belly like that, which would be suitable for after you finish your push-ups. And you're just gonna raise up like so and focus on like really pulling down. Just try to create as much tension as you can. So obviously there's no actual weight there, but by really driving your elbows down, imagine you're pulling a PB on the lat pull down. So you're just really going to activate those lats to pull down. But if you've got something to actually use so you can get some weight on there, yeah, like a chair or a table, we'll do that. So the goal is get as many reps of both as you can in 10 minutes. So how I would approach that is rather than going, all right, let's go to failure on push-ups now and then failure on rows, just bite it. We're going to put it into small bite-sized chunks. So I'd say 5 reps. So 5 push-ups, choose a variation you can do. Obviously, don't do full push-ups from the ground if you can't do them. Do them hands elevated. You can do them from your knees. That's a bit easier than the normal one. If you're really struggling, you can do them against the wall. So just choose a variation that you can actually achieve, and I would say do 5. Even if it feels like you can do more, just stick to 5. Then you're going to do your 5 pulls. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. By biting up and by can't get the words out today. By making it into those little digestible chunks, you will be able to get a lot more overall volume by the end of the workout. So if you think you can do more, just stick to 5 would be my advice. So I'll let you know when we start. It's going to be about 10 seconds. My phone is over here. Let me just give myself a reliable counter. I couldn't see the clock. All right, so we'll put the counter on now. So in 10 seconds, we're going to go 5 push-ups, 5 rows. As you fatigue, if you do, you can just regress it. So even if you start off on your feet, regress it as you get tired. All right, off we go. And just rest as you need. And you can, if you get a bit bored, you can play around with the grip, play around with variation. So push-ups, for instance, you can start going like a diamond grip, a narrow grip, that'll emphasize triceps a little bit more. You can go wider. You can pike it, so you can go hips in the air like that. So by changing the angle, it turns into a bit more shoulder dominant exercise. Obviously, just go at your own pace. You don't have to be switching from one to the other. I'm just doing that for as long as I can, which won't be much longer. Another option as you fatigue as well is just reduce the range. So as you get tired and you feel like you are starting to lag behind, if you can't go all the way down to the ground anymore, just go half. Rest as you need, have water as you need. So obviously, there's not heaps going on, it's very basic exercises, but that is what gets the good work done generally. Sticking to the basics, getting really good at them. And obviously, particularly in our scenario where we're all locked down and there's limited equipment, it's just another method you can use to get a lot of work in, a lot of volume. You know, if you were to add together this total of weight lifted, it would almost certainly surpass what you'd actually do if you were to do a set number of sets where you're resting a lot more. So just by breaking it up and just doing manageable little bite-sized pieces, you can actually get a lot more done if you're talking totals. Whereas obviously if I went for as many as I could do, yeah, I'd get more than 5, but I don't know how many times I'll be able to do that. And I've got 10 minutes to work. Check the time for you and for me. Halfway. I've lost count of my rounds, but doesn't matter. Just keep going. Just 10 minutes. I might have to go on my knees soon. And it goes without saying, as we talked about progressing and regressing, how you make things harder or easier. If you can't do 5, just do 3. If you reduce your range or you're doing it against the wall, just do 3 reps. As long as we're getting some constant output or relatively constant. Not far now, in a couple of minutes. Yeah. 2 minutes. A couple more rounds on. Almost there, another minute or so. I get a couple rounds. We'll try and get 2 more. Yes, I'm watching for that clock very close. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. You get a lot done in 10 minutes. Hope that was all doable for you. I'm sure you all managed to scale it. Well done, everyone. So that's like 2 very different sort of formats. You've got that, obviously just these are the toe stuff, where a lot of it's new exercises for people. So going somewhat slower, just trying to really master the form. And then, you know, something like push-ups and rows, you can just knock whatever that was. I don't know how many you guys got. Probably a fair few more than you would normally do by doing it 5 and 5. So we're going to do a little bit of a cool down now, and then let you guys go. Might run a little bit longer than normal, so I apologize, but hopefully it's been a bit different for you. So, all right, so onto your back. You're gonna go 1 leg up, big figure 4, and then this leg that's bent, Put your arms through. Oh, yeah, good one, sorry. Put your arms through, grab the top of your shin, and gently pull back. You should feel a stretch in the glutes of the legs then. All right, then swap over. Roll onto your bum, so you're in that nice L6 shape. We're just going to do a few big breaths here. So start by having a big breath. As you exhale, you're going to lean your chest down towards your thighs. Inhale again. We're going to do 5 breaths. Each exhale, you're going to get a little deeper. Exhale, put yourself down an inch or so. Breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale a bit deeper. Last one. Big breath in. Exhale a bit deeper. Slowly come back up. You're going to put one leg over the top of the other to the other side, so you're up like this. And then the opposite arm, so my left arm into the back of my right knee. You're going to just gently creep yourself further and further behind you, so you can use your back hand to pose. Again, do a few breaths, just on your own time, but as you exhale, you see if you can look a little further behind you. And then swap over. Okay. Standing. Just a bit of a quad stretch. So post on something if you need. Just gently pull your heel towards your backside. Stand up nice and tall. Should feel a stretch all down that quad. All right, and the other side. Okay, and then obviously we've done a lot of volume for the upper body, so we'll do a bit of a chest and lat stretch. So if you just post against a wall, your elbows just slightly above your shoulder level, and then just gently lean forward. So you're going to be stretching all your shoulder here, get your pec involved. You can linger here for like 30 seconds on each arm, and just gently oscillating forward. See if you can stretch a little bit more. 10 seconds. All right, another side. About halfway. All right, and then we'll do the lats. So it helps if you've got a pole, but I'm guessing most of you don't have one of those in your house. But if you have a door with a sturdy handle, that'll do. Basically, you're just going to lean back, sort of sit into your own footprint like that. And if you want, you can drop this relaxed shoulder and an even deeper stretch of your lats. You should feel it all here. Really sink into it. All right, other arm. Now we'll just give them a bit of a shake off and then we're done. Yeah, just do a few arm circles. So just for me, elbows in basically. So instead of shoulder rotations, we're just working on, you'll feel a bit unco, don't worry. Internal rotations, external rotations. So yeah, taking care of those tendons. And then lastly, we're gonna do single arm, 10 forward. So by doing it single arm, your shoulder blades aren't getting in the way of each other. You've got a bit more freedom of movement. 10 back. And your other arm. Ten back. Well done, everyone. Hopefully that was something a bit different, but interesting. Hopefully you got a bit of a sweat on. And hopefully you set a record for how many push-ups and rows you just stood. I lost count, so I'm just going to pretend that's a record. That'll do. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much. I'll see you on Wednesday and Friday if you come in. And yeah, like I said earlier, we'll be doing a lower body and an upper body. So it'll be a bit more focused next time. So you got a full body to start the week, upper, lower, or lower, upper. I've not worked out the order yet, but that's how we're going to roll. So yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday for something different.